Okay, now let's look at how this socket information, which is your source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port information, helps the web server to handle multiple requests from different sources. Okay, so in this example, we have two sending hosts, one laptop 1, one laptop 2, both trying to access the same web server. So when laptop 1 tries to connect to web server 1, okay, he will send a packet to the web server. Okay, so in the packet itself, you will have four information: source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port. Okay, similarly, when laptop 2 try to connect to the web server, it will also have the same. We also have four information: source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port. Okay, of course, followed by the data that you want to send. You also have data. Okay, these four information, remember, form the socket. So when the web server receives the information or receive the IP packet from laptop 1, okay, he will be able to see the source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, and this will be the socket number. Okay, and when he receives another packet, maybe at the same time from laptop 2, okay, you also see the source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port. He will be able to uniquely identify these two different sockets. Okay, obviously this destination IP will be the same because they are going to the same web server. The destination port will also be the same, okay, because they are all connecting. Okay, this is a web server. They are both connecting to port 80. Okay, both of them are connecting to port 80. Okay, what will be different will be the source IP and source port number. Source IP and source port number. Okay, this will actually be different. Okay, because the source IP is different, then this will uniquely identify the socket for laptop 1 and laptop 2. Okay, so this allows a web server to handle multiple requests even though they are all coming through the same port, because the source IP and the source port are different for each single request. Okay, so how do the web server reply back? So when the web server reply back, all they need to do is to swap. Okay, again remember, swap the source address and source port with the destination address and destination port. So now when he reply back, right, the source address become the destination address, the source port become the destination port, the destination address become the source address, the destination port become the source port, and then the packet will be able to reply back correctly to the correct source. So same goes for here. Okay, so this allowed the reply to go back to the correct source, okay, and to the correct application. Okay, and then on the other hand, how does a laptop or a client, okay, with multiple connection, okay, when the reply packet come back, right, okay, how does the laptop knows this packet is going where? Okay, again using the same concept of socket number. Okay, when return packet come back, let's say this laptop, okay, open up two web browser, do FTP and do telnet. Okay, 4 socket will be open. Okay, when the reply packet come back, okay, obviously the source, the destination address will be the same. Okay, 66.77.88.89, which is the IP address of this laptop. Because all these 4 packets are going back to the laptop, the destination address will be the same. Okay, what will be different will be the destination port number. Okay, when you open up a web browser, it will then reserve a port number. In this case, it reserves port 1024. Okay, when you open up another web browser, it will then choose another port number that you will reserve. Okay, once it's reserved, right, another application will not be able to use this same port number. So if you open up FTP, FTP will also reserve a port number, and if you open a telnet session, telnet will also open up a port number. Okay, so when the reply packet come back, right, it will then reply back to the port number that had been originally reserved by that particular application. Okay, so although the destination IP address is the same, it's a single IP address, because of the port number is different, the packet will be able to go back to the correct application. Okay, so by using socket information, okay, your laptop now can go to multiple destination. Okay, and when the return packet come back, the packet can go to the correct application. Okay, So if you want to find out what TCP port or what UDP port are open on your computers, you can run the netstat -a command. Okay, so for example, if I run command prompt, okay, and I run netstat -a. Okay, these are the ports that's currently been opened. Some are listening ports, some are established ports. Okay, this will allow me to see what are the ports that have been opened on my COM. Some ports have been established to the web, some are listening. Okay, port number are important because it's normally used by firewall. Okay, so if a firewall blocks a port that's needed by application, the IP packet cannot go through the firewall, then your application will not work. Okay, you have some personal firewall installed on your laptop. Okay, we also have corporate firewall that's installed on the company networks. What firewall do is, if you can say, I want to block this port, I want to allow this port. These are normally configured on the firewall. If you configure that certain port you want to block, but it's not supposed to be blocked, your application will not work. Okay, and you also want to block unused port in your firewall to better protect your computer. Okay, for example, okay, let's say this is a firewall. Okay, let's say this is your web server. Okay, it's connected to the firewall, and let's say this is connected to the internet. Okay, if you want to allow the internet to access your web server, okay, web server again is open at well-known port 80. So in your firewall, you configure someone from the internet try to access your web server, okay, through port 80, you will allow. Okay, but if a hacker here is trying to do something funny, okay, he's trying to access, let's say, a port 23, which is a telnet port, which allow him to remotely control your web server. Okay, when you try to access, okay, through port 23, okay, because you know this connection is coming from the internet, and you are not an internet user, are not supposed to do telnet to your web server. In your firewall, you configure to drop this kind of traffic. Okay, these help you to protect your network better. But if you configure it wrongly, okay, port 80, okay, instead of allowed, you disallow. Okay, then user from the internet will not be able to access your web server. Okay, so knowing what ports is running will help you to configure your network properly. Okay, better protect your network and better protect your computer. Okay, that's the end of this chapter 7. It's quite a long chapter and quite a lot of concept to understand. So if you have any question, you can always send me an email or you can ask me during the next lesson. Okay, I'll see you all next week. Bye.